Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second session of our Canvas training series that's going to be going on this semester for people that are currently testing out Canvas. The topic of today's session is going to be page creation and basic assignment creation. So I'm going to be going through some of the basics of page creation and then creating assignments. So let me share my screen here. Okay, so you should now be seeing my main dashboard in Canvas. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually navigate over to my practice class. So I have my example class here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my modules. Now, as I kind of said during the last session, I do like building my pages and my assignments and things like that directly within the modules. Technically, you can use those buttons over on the side. So like you can use the pages button to create a page. If you go to view all pages, you can do plus page if you prefer to do it that way. Same way with assignments. So you can build them here, but then what you have to do is you have to go back to your modules and link them. So I just find it easier to build directly within the module so I'm not having to do all that extra stuff. Okay, so to get started with creating a page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the module I want the page to go in, and I'm going to hit plus up in the top right corner. Up in the options, I can click where it says assignment, scroll to page, and then if I've already created a page and it's sitting in the background in my course, at this point, I would actually be able to select that and insert it. However, since I have a new one, I'm just going to hit create page and give it a name. So we'll call this Landers Field. Hit add item. Now that I've added the page, it's going to show up unpublished down here at the bottom. I can increase the indent if I want. As you can see, I have my stuff indented just to make it stand out. So I'll click these three dots here and I'll do increase indent. And then additionally, I can go over here to the little 8 dots on the side, click, and I can drag and move the page to wherever I want it to go. So in this case, I'm going to add it to Monday. Now that I've done that, students still can't see this because, again, it's unpublished. I'm going to actually click on it, and then I'm going to hit edit up at the top. Now that I've hit edit, you'll see that I have a very similar working space to Microsoft Word. One of the first things I like to point out to people, because it makes life a lot easier, is you'll notice that the working screen here is very small. Once you get typing, as the pages get larger, you'll notice that you have a more difficult time having to scroll around and things like that. So what you can actually do is come over here to the side where those dots are and click to resize it. So I just click and drag and I can resize my working space to make it a little bigger. Additionally, you can go full screen by clicking on this full screen button over here. To get out of that, I'm just going to hit view up here and I'm going to uncheck the full screen. Next, we're going to start talking about some of these buttons up here along the top and what they do. Now, obviously, one of the first things that you're going to do when you are typing out a page is you are going to probably want to put some sort of heading. The way to do that is to click up here where it says paragraph, and then you'll see that there are headings in order. And the top one is heading 2. The reason heading 2 is the top and not heading 1 is because heading 1 is this up here. So when a student clicks on the page when it's done, this will be in heading 1, and then this will be heading 2. So I'm going to put Landers Field Revisited. And this gives me my title. Next thing I can do is hit enter, very similar to Word, and you'll notice that it will change automatically to paragraph. So I can go blah, 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 and I can type my text along here. This is a field. As I'm typing out text, there's a few things that I can do. So I can highlight it and I can hit the bold button just like in Word. I can italicize it. I can do the underline thing. I can even change the color of the text. But be careful when doing this because sometimes it can be kind of hard to see on a white background if you pick the wrong kind of color. But I'm just going to leave mine to black. but sometimes you can do that. Additionally, if you click over here, you can highlight text. So if I go this, I can highlight it, and then it will stand out a little bit more on the field or on the page. Additionally, just as a little pro tip, if you're using color or highlighting for making text stand out, so for example, let's say I had a student and I really wanted to point out this word field to them, and I made it red. In order for this page to be more compliant or ADA compliant, what you're going to want to do is also make this bold. And the reason for doing this is if the student has color blindness or something like that, they will not really be able to tell that you're trying to highlight this. So it's usually a good idea to double stack when you're pointing stuff out. So usually what I do is I change the color and I bold it, or I highlight it and I bold it. This way, you know, I'm hitting all of my students, no matter what kind of vision thing they're using or what their vision is like. So now that I've done this, another thing I can point out is up here in the edit button. I always like to point this out because it's kind of hidden. If you go up here to edit, you can actually hit the undo button, and then that's your undo. That's my favorite button, so when I mess up, I can go up here and hit undo. I know on Word, it's just like a little backslash arrow up here, but it's not the way it is in Canvas. So if you are looking for that button, it's under edit and then undo. So now I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to move down. I'm going to change my text back to black, and I'm going to do another heading. So because I used heading 2 the first time, I'm going to use heading 3 now. Now it is important to go in order with these headings, because if you have any students that are using assistive technologies that read the page to them, using the correct headings will actually, in order, will actually allow them to navigate the page better if they do have some sort of assistive technology. So I'm going to do heading 3 and then put, let's say, overview. Enter, go back down, sticks back to paragraph. And now what I want to do is I actually want to insert a link. So here's a link. And when you click the little arrow down, you have two options. You can either add an external link, so a link to a website. Let's say I wanted to link YouTube. I can copy that, put YouTube. And I always like to put like web link and things like that behind parentheses so people know what they're clicking on. I always get nervous clicking on random links where I don't know where they go. But I'm going to hit this arrow and do external link. And then I just have to paste it in here to get it done. So now I'll hit done, and I now have a link. Probably want to describe what I was saying before, probably want to describe what it is that students are clicking on. So don't just put like click here or something like that. You'll definitely want to describe that link. That's just a good practice to have when building pages in Canvas, because then, you know where you're going to be going. Additionally, you might have noticed there was another option. Oops, get out of there. You might have noticed there was another option to add course links. So if you click on that, you're able to link quizzes, assignments, anything that you've created just by clicking on it. So if I go to assignments, I can click on this assignment if I want to add it, and you'll notice that it pops right up here. Then because of the way that I like to set things up, I'm just going to put like course link behind here just to give it a little bit of description. Next thing I want to do is I want to add a photo. So if I go up here to the images area, I can click on this, and then from here I have a couple options. I can either upload an image from my computer. I can use Unsplash, which allows me to use search terms basically. So let's say, let's search for a donkey. There's a donkey. So I've selected my image, and like I said, I could also upload from my computer or even post a URL to an image. And then I'm going to come down here, and you'll notice that there's a couple options for alt text. Now what alt text is text basically describing the image. So if the student's using an assistive thing, you're able to add this description and it will read that to them as they're using that assistive technology. In this case, because this image isn't really adding to my content, like it's not a chart or anything like that, I don't really have to describe it. So I'm just going to put it here as decorative image. I'm just slapping this donkey on the page because I feel that bedazzles the thing up a little bit. So we'll hit decorative image, and then you don't have to put in the alt text, and then you can hit submit. And then that came in really big. It actually got really good resolution too. And I can click and drag and resize it. And now that's done. Moving along the top, you will also notice that there is an option for recording and uploading media. If you click on this little check mark down, you'll see a button that says upload record media. And what you're able to do here is add videos directly to your page. So the two options are you can either click and drag or just click in the center, and it'll give you the option to upload a video that you've already filmed on your computer. Or you can also hit the record button up here, and then your webcam is actually going to be picked up. I can't actually show you this right now because I'm using my camera in the Teams right now, so it's not going to let me record two things at once. But if I could, I would hit start recording and my face would be showing up here, and then it would record me talking. And you can record for quite a long time, but I recommend only using this tool for short spurts, maybe like quick little 3-5 minute videos, just because, you know, if it crashes on you or something, you lose everything and there's no way to recover it. So short videos, it's good for short videos if you just want to, like, you know, say hello to your students or something in a virtual environment. But hit start recording and then the upload button, and then after that, it's going to plop it right there on the page underneath my donkey picture. So it's actually a really cool tool for just doing quick recordings. And by the way, students will also have the option to use that exact same tool when they are submitting assignments, if you want to set it that way. Moving on down the line, we've got the documents area. This is where you can upload a file. So in this case, I'm going to do upload document that I don't have yet. I'll just click here, and we're going to pick Apple Training Resource Links. Hit open, and then submit. And as you can see, it added a link, I believe, to my OneDrive. Or no, sorry, that is a Word document. So once I hit save on the page, I'll be able to click to expand that. So if I hit save, I can click here, and it actually brings up the document up here. So it's kind of neat. Going back into edit. The next thing down the line is the apps area. Now, right now, we only have one app, but the big app is Microsoft Office 365. So if you click on Microsoft Office 365, you can actually access your OneDrive from directly in Canvas. So like, let's say I want to select and add this document. I'll click the little checkbox here. I'll do attach file. Oh no, I just really messed up my title. Oh well, we'll call it good. Actually, that'll work out better for next. But as you can see, I do have my document up here now. And I've just got it in that, so I'm going to do, let's switch that to paragraph, even though I'm not really supposed to do that. And so as you can see, that uploaded a file, and it looks exactly the same as this one down here, but I didn't have to have it on my computer. I just pulled it right from OneDrive. Next up, you've got the align buttons, bullets, spaces, you know, all the same as Microsoft Word, so I won't spend time covering that. And then if you click the three little dots, you'll have a clear formatting button. So like if you formatted some stuff and you want to unclear it, you can highlight it, clear formatting, and then that removed the bold and the highlight. Additionally, you've got your chart tool here, very similar to Word. This is different than Word. This is insert math equation. So what you can actually do is hit the insert math equation, and you can make cool equations and things like that. And there's all sorts of options up here. You can also type letters and things. So if you're a math teacher and you're really looking forward to using this, or if you teach, like, say, science, physics, anything that uses equations, this is a really neat little tool to allow you to insert an equation. So we can see that I've inserted this equation here. And then finally, the last option that we have here that I wanted to show you is the embed button. So if you click embed, if you get an embed code from YouTube or something, you can embed YouTube videos directly to your Canvas course. Now, I know someone's going to ask, I have no idea at this time whether or not embedding a YouTube video will still allow students to watch it on the iPads, but it's definitely something that we can test out. Okay, and that's kind of that for the tools up here in the HTML bar. Does anybody have any questions before I move on to the last part of creating a page? Okay, so moving on, down here along the bottom, we have a few other tools. This keyboard shortcuts thing will actually show you keyboard shortcuts you can use to make your life easier, like Alt F9 goes to the editor's menu bar. It tells you how many words are on the page. This might be useful to some people, but if you know how to use an HTML editor, they actually have a really cool HTML editor down here. If you click on this, it does bring up the HTML view of your page, and you can do like very fine-tuned editing in here if you know how to use HTML. Totally optional, but it does have this option. And this is kind of a cleaned up view that Canvas added. If you like the original view better, if you're kind of old school on your HTML editing, you can click the raw HTML button down here to get a view that's more in line with what you're probably used to. And I really like how they call it Pretty HTML Editor. So I click on that, and then Canvas kind of has everything broken down. Finally, to get out of that, I'm just going to click right down there. The last button I wanted to show you is a very exciting button on this page. You'll notice that throughout my presentation today, I've kind of been sneaking some little accessibility stuff, like how to keep pages accessible as you're building your class in. Well, fortunately, Canvas actually has a built-in tool to help you with this. So if you hover over this guy doing jumping jacks down here, you'll see that it says accessibility checker. If I click on this, if I had any problems on my page, which I'm actually shocked I don't have any problems on my page because I was just slapping stuff around, but I guess it turned out pretty good. But when it does give you an issue to point out, it gives you the option to fix it right there. So what that should have said was headings are out of order or something, and then it would have, say, fix it underneath. I could click the fix it button, and it would actually fix the issue. So now that I'm done using this page, there is a couple other options down here. You can allow students to edit the page if you want to. You can add it to student to-do list, so it'll tell them that, hey, you posted this page and they should check it out. And then also, we'll cover mastery paths in a later session, but if you have a mastery path, this is how you can add it to it. I think this page is pretty good, so I'm going to hit save and publish, making it available for my students. And that is page creation. The last thing I wanted to talk to you today about is the assignments area. Now, in order to create an assignment, same thing as a page. I'm just going to hit this plus button in the module that I want to add it to. I'm going to hit create assignment and give it a name. Review of the donkey page. I know I'm kind of beating the donkey shtick like a dead horse, but or a dead donkey in this case, but I'm going to keep rolling with it. It's the theme I came up with. So we've got review of the donkey page. We can hit add item. And now we've got a unedited or an unpublished, not complete blank assignment down here. I'm going to drag it and move it up under here. Increase indents. And now I'm going to hit edit up here at the top. Now you'll notice this looks exactly the same as the page, and that's why I really enjoy Canvas. No matter what you're building, all the tools are the same. So I'm just going to put directions and go to paragraph, heading 2, write a summary about the donkey page and post it below. So obviously I would include much better instructions. You could add if you had the instructions already on a Word document or something like that, you could post that right in here. Scrolling down, we have some options. So there's points. I'm going to give this one 15 points. Assignment group, you really don't need to worry about that if you build out of the modules. You get options for how you can display the grades. You can do it as a percent. Maybe it's a complete or incomplete assignment. Maybe it's not being graded at all. You know, that's sometimes an option as well. So not graded. So you've got a whole bunch of options for how students will see their grade. Additionally, there's a button below that you can click if you do not want this grade to count towards their final score. So if you do not want this to count, you can click it there. So like, let's say it's bell work, but you don't grade your bell work. You could do your bell work here and click that little box. Submission type. Now, on its submission type, you've got a few different options. So first of all, you can leave it at no submission if you want, but you can click online. And then you've got a whole bunch of different options. You've got text entry. What that's going to do is that's going to give the students a box to type in when they submit, so they can just hit upload. Maybe you had them work on an online portfolio or something, and you want to submit that, and you want it to be a URL. You can do this checkbox here to create a website URL, or for them to submit a website URL. That media recording tool that I showed you before, you can give them the option to do that too. Maybe they want to verbally describe the donkey page. Student annotation. You know, you can actually select a file that the student can write on and they'll get their own copy. So you could do upload file. You could pull it from your course. So I'll just do this. So that could be an option too. And then of course, there's the classic file upload, which might not be super helpful on iPads, but if your students are using this on a computer, they could do a regular computer file upload. And as you can see, I can select as many or as few submission options as I want. So I just check them all so that I can show you what this looks like from the student perspective afterwards. Below that, you can set how many times they can submit it. I'm going to leave mine at unlimited. I don't care how many times they submit this to me. It'll just replace the one that they submitted prior. I'm going to be getting into groups and things like that later on down the road, but there is ways to do group assignments and also ways to do peer reviews, which I also will be going over another time. You'll notice there's an option here that says sync to Infinite Campus. This includes the assignment's grades when syncing to your school's information system. This will create the assignment and sync the grade in Infinite Campus. So that's very nice. Now, this currently does not work yet. We're still testing it. But eventually, we're hoping it'll be turned on sometime second semester, and then you'll be able to sync your assignments to it. Down here is the due date area or the assign area. So we've got everyone. You could also, if you wanted to, select an individual student. So let's say Darnell, who's in my class, has an IEP and he needs to have extended due date. I can hit the plus button at the bottom, plus add, and create a second submission for him. So I'll do Darnell test. So now I can create a due date. Let's say it's due the 21st. I can set the time and do everything that I want. So if you want to set yours at the end of class or midnight, wherever you want to do it, you can do it that way. Darnell's IEP says that he needs more time, so I'm going to give him till the 22nd. And now we've got that. Now these dates below here, these are optional to use, but what you can do is, let's say you don't want your students to start their assignment until October 20th. You can select the available from button, and then students will not be able to start this assignment until the available date happens. Additionally, if you want to block them from being able to submit anymore, so let's say you have no tolerance for late work, you can set this date as well. So I'm going to pick the 22nd. And so then on the 22nd at midnight, they will be blocked from submitting. Darnell, he has an IEP, so I'm just going to leave his open. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit save and publish, and my assignment is now published. It will notify students that the assignment has been submitted, and it will show up on their to-do list on their side of things. So, and we have a to-do list as well over here. Okay. Now, final thing I wanted to show you is what that assignment is going to look like from a student perspective on a computer. So now I'm going to go into student view, and I'm going to find the assignment that I wanted to work on. And I'm going to scroll down here to where it said review of the donkey page. I click on this, and as we can see, as a student, I have a bunch of options here. So if you recall that student annotation option that I picked, and then I added a file right from my computer, I am now able to click on this and I can annotate my way through it. So they'll be able to work on this, edit it, you know, add comments, things like that. And then hit submit assignment and it will be done. Additionally, they have the file upload area where they can upload a file. They can also use their webcam on their iPad. So if they did like a physical worksheet, like in class that day, they can use their webcam to take a photo of it and add it here. And you'll notice at the bottom of each one of these, they have a comments area that they can leave a comment to you. So like, you know, hope you have a wonderful day or something to like butter you up before they submit an assignment to you. But they can add comments down here. Additionally, here's the text entry option. They are just able to type out their assignment right here and hit submit. There's the website URL. They can post a URL. Media, they can hit the record upload media button and record themselves directly into the assignment and then hit submit assignment. If you use CK12, we have something that's on automatically that will allow you to connect your stuff. And then additionally, because we selected that option, we have the Office 365 thing. If they saved their assignment in Office 365, they'd be able to attach it using this. Now, what I recommend is, not selecting all of the options, maybe limit the way you want them to submit it. So, maybe a couple options, 2, 3 at most. That's just kind of a good practice because otherwise students might get confused. But it's totally up to you. You know your students and what they can handle. But yeah, you've got all these different options for allowing students to submit. You'll find ones that you like better than others, and you can stick to those and also mix them up. But yeah, that's kind of my quick overview today of pages and assignments. I just wanted to go over the tools, and hopefully you find this helpful. Next week, we're going to be doing another session, and I believe that session is going to be on discussion boards and the new quizzes tool. So hope to see you next week, and have a good night, everyone.